no lawsuits would be necessary. You would make it right for us. We live in this state. You don't even live in this country. And you are denying some claims, legitimate claims. People are angry at the government. We're always angry at the government. Why don't you stand up and answer some of our questions?
So I do give you our commitment that if there's a legitimate claim associated with this trail, that Enbridge will cover that. And as indicated by EPA, Enbridge is committed to cover all the costs associated with this trail.
Loss of property value, unable to sell homes, red line, concerns about our health in 5, 10, 15 years. Where's our guarantee?
So with regard to the home values, as you know, we stepped in right at the outset and indicated that we would promise to purchase any homes in either within 200 feet or greater or within the red zone. And in doing so, provide support for the real estate market here. We also will consider any special cases outside and determine whether we should extend that. And that is our commitment to you. And I think to date we've only bought 2 homes. I understand we have another 3 that are pending to provide support in the real estate market. With regard to public health issues, again, Jim Rutherford and Public Health Department is so much more qualified than I.
I know you feel no personal guilt, I think, is the quote you gave. You feel no personal guilt about this. We feel personal guilt. We live this. We feel guilty for you about what you've done. How are you going to be a good neighbor to me? You've been here 41 years. You want to be here 41 more. How are you going to be a good neighbor?
Well, we're going to do our very best to make this up to everybody for the mess that we created.
How are you going to make it up to me?
We're very actively involved in cleaning up the river and cleaning up the creek and supporting the property values in processing legitimate claims, and that's my commitment to you.
Processing legitimate claims doesn't see to it that my property value, 2 properties in Ceresco, my neighbors are here, a business owner down in front. How can you promise me when you go home, you get on your corporate jet and you go home to Alberta, correct me if I'm wrong?
That's right.
Am I welcome to come there anytime where the air is pristine and the water is great? You said you wanted to come fishing on a river. Why don't you eat the fish? Because they're probably not healthy.
Eat my vegetables in my garden.
Yeah, these people, how can you make this right? We don't want to be angry at you. We want to go home and go, wow, that guy stood by what he said.
And
that's what we want to do.
If anyone has a legitimate claim or an issue, or if you don't feel that you're getting properly treated at our claim center, please come forward and recognize that we've been doing our best to deal with those most directly impacted.
How are you going to compensate us for our loss of a summer?
They're not. They're making you sign waivers.
Yeah.
What about
They'll offer $257.
We'll meet again.
I appreciate the CEO.
To address the CEO of Enbridge, I do not see how you stated you were going to take 100% responsibility for this. How is getting people to sign away their rights in a liability waiver taking 100% responsibility? Can you please define that for me? Having people at the Enbridge Center sign away their rights, releasing Enbridge from all liability, how is that taking full responsibility, as you stated in multiple conferences?
The only reason why the waiver is to compensate people for their claims, and we think it's only fair that they wait. If there are subsequent issues that come up after that, then bring them forward. But that's the purpose.
That's the problem. You're using the word compensation and reimbursement interchangeably. Those are 2 different things, sir. You reimbursed me for money I had already spent out of pocket. That is not compensation at all. That is different. That is money that was already mine that you paid me back. And then when I refused to sign your waiver, you deducted money off of my reimbursement check. How is that fair? Shame on you.
This evening that Enbridge is going to work with me. For 29 days, I did not have contact with them. They have been at my property at the store. We have been closed down. They have not been able to access our building, get the carpet out, have customers, etc. So they have affected our livelihood. When I went in on day 16 to the care center, I was told that Enbridge was focusing on residents. And as a resident, I can appreciate that, but as my livelihood, I was very, very concerned that you didn't care about that. I understand that we have to do cleanup, and I'm all for that. I'm just hoping that there will be conversation and compensation for a business that you basically have, effective, thank you. But I do have a question for Mr. Rutherford. He just referenced the Verona Well. And in a Thrusco neighborhood meeting, I asked him specifically, as a participant in that Verona Well study, how it affected, because the results of that came back that those of us in that study showed a higher percentage of cancer. I am a cancer patient. I am currently on oral chemo. And how did that affect me as a resident immediately below the dam and a business immediately above the dam? And I was told it was apples and oranges, and I was offended by that. So as we're looking at this, I am asking, the mist that comes over the dam, is that a different reading than the river that flows flat? Because explain to me why my windows are coated, my house is coated in an oil film. My car, the car wash people said, what is this? I will show you right now that my car is covered in what looks like if you took a wet paintbrush, washed out and flung it, you know, the little white speck. It is covered with hundreds of spots, and my car was washed on Sunday. So what is that doing to our wildlife, and what is that doing to us residents at the dam?